So I'm continuing my journey through artists and songs and videos. I mean, it's actually kind of fun going through these and seeing what kind of Easter eggs the artists leave in their songs and some of the things that they say. So anyway, this one is Sign of the Times by Harry Styles. And I like the song because it keys in on bullets. And bullets are the concept of what it takes to end things. Bald up front, long hair in the back. So you're sort of looking for that hidden treasure chest. Because hair depicts a connection, a spiritual connection, but also like a connection to the vine. So it's sort of your missing piece, I guess, is the best way to term it. But the person carrying that looks like somebody who's bald. So you think of Elisha in the Bible, who is being pestered by 42 children, and two bears show up. So the idea is the bear that's been asleep wakes up. So that's your bull. That's the bull concept, is the bull will eventually carry the ark back to the right place, which is why Uzzah was burnt when he touched the oxen, because the ark was getting unsettled. The penalty of touching that or muzzling the oxen is death, and people know that, so they don't touch it. So what these guys are waiting for is somebody to wake up the person carrying the ark, I guess, or the concept of the ark being carried to them. And that ark becomes aware or grows hair, I guess is the concept. So anyway, a bullet is somebody that's in that particular kind of position. So I guess that's kind of the best way to describe it. Revelation talks about it in other ways, but that's the idea. And the way allegories are used in songs, I could probably dig into a bunch of different ways that's described, but that's the idea of the bullets. So Harry also talks about just stop crying, sign of the times, welcome to the final show. So this idea of recycling and through a life experiences like the Groundhog Day, it's the final show. So the Sabbath is a show. It's an experience of life without yourself, like Adam with his inner self. Being walled off from himself, kind of thing. So he's in a stupor. That's kind of the idea, and that's how mankind falls. So then you have wearing your best clothes. So that's like the parable that Jesus taught about the guy throwing the wedding banquet and that person not wearing the wedding clothes. Well, that person was bound and thrown out of the house into the ditch, sort of thing, right? So. That's the need of wearing your best clothes, and Jesus also says to buy clothes from Him so that you'll be prepared in the Book of Revelation. And then it says Harry goes into something that is really obvious to me when it comes to sort of spiritual things. You can't bribe the door on your way to the sky. He's saying you can't cheat. So 2 Timothy 2:5 says you have to follow the rules, and you can't win unless you follow the rules. So what Harry's saying is effectively the same thing. You got to do it right. The time's near, sign of the times, pay attention. The abomination and desolation, I guess, is in the holy place. That's kind of the concept. So you need to get away from here. And he says that in this song as well. So that's kind of the idea, is we're in this show of the final times. And I guess that's the most important concept that Harry's depicting in this particular song, that it's time and we need to be aware. So stop your crying. So I stopped this video at the 2-minute and 21-second mark. There are a few things that he says here that sort of get my attention. So one is that we can meet somewhere else, far away from here, and that's kind of the idea of flying away, flying off like a bird. So the fallen angels are sort of chained down to the earth. It's like David being caught in the cords of King Saul in Psalm 18. So the idea is you're sort of stuck, and they want to break through the atmosphere. They want to take off. They want to take flight. So you see that also depicted in this video where Harry's flying, right? So trying to get away, but he can't. But that's the idea of the birds, and the birds need to have a place to rest before they can take off. Is kind of the concept. And a bullet is the way somebody gets through that. And the bullet is the idea of food being prepared over over the cow dung for Ezekiel. That's the idea. So Ezekiel says, "No, Lord, I've never defiled myself." So okay, prepare your food over cow dung. So that's the concept. It's the reverse. It's the other way around. But the idea is going through these cycles of life one after another is like adding layers of nacre to the pearl. So the pearl keeps getting layer after layer after layer, and then that's the idea of the parable of the great pearl. So if you find a great pearl, then you sell it all. You're willing to sell it all to go buy that pearl, and that's Jesus' purpose in that particular parable. So you have to find a way through this gauntlet of life, and that's what he taught. So the pearly gates at the end in Revelation, they're these pearls. That's sort of the concept. So anyway, got to collect them, and then you can bribe your way to the sky through that. But that's how you break through that atmosphere. That's what he's talking about at this particular juncture of the song. So I stopped the video at 4 minutes and 13 seconds because it starts keying in to some really interesting things here. You've got the idea of we don't talk enough. We should open up before it's all too late. Will we ever learn? We've been here before. It's just what we know. So the idea is you're recycling. You're going back through the life experience over and over again, like the movie Groundhog Day, right? So the concept is this idea of division of self, like Adam's rib being tucked away inside of Eve. So it's the other half. So Adam and Eve is split into two people. One side has this lock box sort of concept, while the other side is somehow aware but in a stupor and doesn't really, kind of asleep, let's call it that, during this process. So the Bible, at least my version, uses the word stupor. So you've got this idea of one witnessing, the other one burning in hell in desire for the other side. So like Romans 1:26-27 and Genesis 1:27 also. The numbers matter, by the way. So those numbers align for obvious reasons. But the idea is you need to talk, but you can't. You run out of things to say. Like Harry said in his song Falling, ran out of words to say, don't have any more words to say. So you fall again, just like the rinse and repeat. You go through baptism and fire, and like Jesus taught, the only way out of that is through fasting and prayer. So you have to pray, and you have to fast. And fasting is, cutting yourself off from the spiritual world, but yet you're in the spiritual world. So that's sort of the life experience that somebody has, and that's what Harry's depicting in this song. It's just beautiful.